Hi everyone. So we are going to continue active and passive voice. Previous video we have discussed how to change the declarative sentences from active to passive. And today we are going to discuss interrogative sentences, imperative sentences, exclamatory sentences. How do we change from active to passive? Let us discuss. Interrogative sentences, there are two types of interrogative sentences. Open interrogative, closed interrogative. Open interrogative begins with the question words. What are the question words? Who, whom, whose, which, what, where, when, why, how. All these are question words. So your open interrogative begins with a question word. Alright. Let us see how do we change interrogative sentences, especially open interrogative sentences, change from active to passive. Let us see. Says first thing, find the verb. What is the verb? Has broken. Has plus V3. Has plus V3 is present perfect. What is the passive form for present perfect? Have or has plus been plus V3. Have or has plus been plus V3. Now when there is a question word, we just write the question word first. So here is who. When it comes to who, we write by whom. Of course, we can also write who. There are two possible ways of writing. Starting with by whom or who. So let us go with starting with by whom. So first write question word. Only who takes by whom. When it comes to all other question words, we use the same question word. Right. Now, after writing, find out the object. What is the object? Has broken. What is the broken? What has broken? The mirror. So it is a direct object. Here you need to note a point. There is a difference between declarative and interrogative sentence. What is the difference? See, a declarative sentence subject, helping verb, main verb, helping verb plus main verb plus object or complement. That's a declarative sentence syntax. When it comes to open interrogative, question word, helping verb, subject, main verb, object or complement, and a question mark. So here the subject comes between helping verb and the main verb. So while writing passive voice, you need to keep the syntax in mind. So be careful, the subject has to come between helping verb and main verb. Now look here. Have, has, passive forms I am talking about. Have, has are the helping verbs here. Have or has the helping verbs. Now the new subject, of course the mirror is going to be new subject. Active voice is object, but this mirror is going to be new subject. Now this new subject has to be, the subject has to be placed between helping verb and main verb. Helping verb and main verb. So here the new subject has to come. Then here the new subject has to come. Now mirror is a singular or plural? Mirror is a singular, so we write has. Now write the subject. So once again, interrogative sentence differ in syntax. Whereas helping verb comes after subject in declarative sentence. In open interrogative or closed interrogative, subject comes between helping verb and main verb. Between helping verb and main verb. Now, by whom, has, so helping verb has to come, and now place the subject. The mirror, and write the form. Main verb, been broken, been broken? Question mark. So by whom has the mirror been broken? This is how. So only difference from declarative to interrogative is the subject has to be placed between main verb and helping. So here there is a possibility of writing the same question using who. Let us see how. Who same has the mirror been broken by. So only the difference is when you start with by whom and when you start with who, this by has to be at the end. When you start with the who, right? Okay. Next question. Which book did you like? Which book did you like? First find the verb did like. Did plus base form of the verb. Did plus base form of the verb is equal to V2. What is the passive form for V2? Was or were plus V3. Was or were plus V3. When you write open interrogative, first bring the same question word first. Which. Now pronoun is followed, so we write pronoun. We don't write helping verb because here immediately in the question, immediately after which we have a pronoun, so we just use the same pronoun. Sorry, a noun, we use the same noun here. Which book? See here, did like, was liked. Book is a singular, so we use was. Liked by you. Which book was liked by you? Don't forget to keep question mark. When it comes to direct and indirect speech, while changing questions from direct to indirect, we just make assertive and use a full stop. But when it comes to active and passive voice, or interrogative sentences always ends with question mark. Next question. How can people tolerate such a person in our society? How can people tolerate? Can tolerate. Can tolerate is the verb. So can plus tolerate base form or bare infinitive. Now can is a modal. So modal plus base form, modal plus bare infinitive. So modal plus bare infinitive, modal plus B plus V3. Modal plus B plus V3. What is the modal given? Can. So when can is given, use only can, not could. And same question word. First write the same question word. How? Then see, let's find out the object. Can tolerate. People can tolerate what? Such a person. Such a person is a direct object. So can people tolerate? People can tolerate. What can people tolerate? Such a person. So now we write first the question word, and as I told you earlier, the new subject. What is the new subject? The object of passive active voice. The object of active voice becomes the new subject. So when you write the new subject in interrogative sentences, helping verb should be before new subject. What is the helping verb? See here, people is a subject, and here is helping verb, here is a main verb. Similarly, while you write in answer, while you change into passive voice, we first supposed to write can. So can is given, modal plus B plus V3. We just use the same modal can, not could. Can. Now bring the new subject. Such a person. How can such a person, now main verb, be tolerated in our society? Now people, so we need not to mention agent here because the people is general. So being general, we need not to use agent in passive voice. So how can such a person be tolerated in our society? Next question. Why should you write a letter? Why should you write a letter? Should write. Should plus bare infinitive. Now, should is a modal plus bare infinitive. Modal plus bare infinitive. Modal plus B plus V3. Modal plus B plus V3. Find the object. What you should write? A letter. So it is a direct object. A letter is a direct object. Now what is the question word? Why? First write the same question word. Why? Now we need to use helping verb after question word. Helping verb after question word. Because the new subject has to be between helping verb and main verb. What is the helping verb? Helping verb is here should. So we use the same word should, not shall. Should bring new subject. A letter. Why should? Sorry. Letter. Why should a letter? Why should a letter? Now main verb. Be V3. Written by you? Question mark. Why should a letter be written by you? Is the passive form. Next question. When do you complete the project? When do you complete the project? Do complete. Do plus base form of the verb is equal to V1. Did plus base form of the verb is equal to V2. Do plus base form of the verb is equal to V1. Does plus base form of the verb is equal to V1 plus SRES. Now it is V1. V1 passive form. What is the V1 passive form? Am, is, are plus V3. Am, is, are plus V3. So do you complete? What do you complete? The project. So direct object. Direct object. Now write the same question first. What is the question word? When. We need a helping verb. We don't take this helping verb now because we have new helping verb in a passive voice. So if we have a new helping verb, am, is, are, which one has to be taken? Now based on the subject, what is the new subject? The object of active voice becomes the new subject. So what is the object of the active voice? The object of the project. The project is a singular. We use is. So we write is. Now place the new subject. Project. When is the project completed by you? When is the project completed by you? You is the doer here. Now the second type of interrogative sentences. Closed interrogative sentences. Closed interrogative sentences always begins with helping verb, subject and main verb. So interrogative means, remember, the subject has to be placed between helping verb and main verb. So interrogative means the subject has to be placed between helping verb and main verb, either in active voice or passive voice. Now let's look at the question here. Did he break the window pane? Did break. Earlier I told you did plus base form is equal to V2. The passive form for V2 is was, were plus V3. Was, were plus V3. Now he is the subject. What he did break the window pane. This is a direct object. Now let's write. See, the direct object is going to be new subject. New subject. Here is no question word because these are closed interrogative. But beginning is helping verb. So in the same way, when you write passive voice, should begin with helping verb. But we can't take this helping verb. The reason is the new helping verb has come here. What are the new helping verbs here? Was or were. So we have new helping verb. So either you should use was or were. And most of the students, they make mistake, simply they write did. No. So when do, does, there, the helping verb in passive voice must be am, is, are. When did there, the helping verb must be was or were. So keep that in mind. Now we need to write was or were based on the new subject. What is the new subject? The window pane. So being this window pane is the new subject, we need singular. So what we write? Was. Was the window pane. V3. Break, broke, broken. Broken. By him? Question mark. Was the window pane broken by him? With the passive form. Next question. Are the mountaineers not climbing the mountain? Are the mountaineers not climbing the mountain? Being interrogative sentence, we need to search for verb here. Verb phrase. Are climbing. Are plus base form of the verb plus ing. Are plus base form of the verb plus ing. Now passive form for are plus ing form. Am, is, are plus, being plus V3. Being plus V3. Now here the helping verb is are. Now look at the subject, new subject. What the mountains are not climbing? The mountain. So this is a direct object. What the mountaineers are not climbing? The mountain. So then the mountain is a new subject. Here the mountaineers plural, so are is taken. Now the new subject is going to be the mountain. It is a singular, so we need to use is. Is. Is the mountain. Is the mountain not, because it's a negative, we write not. Then write the remaining verb form. Being V3. Climb V3. Climbed. Climbed. Is the mountain not being climbed by the subject? Sorry, the doer. Becomes agent in passive voice. What's the doer here? Who is the doer? The mountaineers. Mountaineers. Question mark. So is the mountain not being climbed by the mountaineers? So once again, here is are. The reason is mountaineers. The subject is single, plural. We used is. The reason is the new subject. The object of active voice is a singular, so we use a is. Do you remember her address? Do remember. Do plus base form of the verb is equal to V1. What is the passive form for V1? Am, is, are plus V3. What do you remember? Our address. So it is a direct object. Direct object. Now we don't use the same helping verb. We need to use a new helping verb, that is am, is, are. Which one? Based on the new subject. Object is here, our address, that becomes the new subject. So our address is a singular, so we use is. Is our address. Is our address V3. Remembered is our address remembered by you. So subject is in assertive sentence you, the doer is you, so the agent here by you. Next question. Will you play chess with me tomorrow? Will play. Modal plus will is a modal. Modal plus base form of or to bare infinitive. Now passive form is modal plus be plus v3. What will you play? Chess. So chess is a direct object. Chess is a direct object. So we use same helping verb, same model. So what is the model here? Will. So don't change will into would in active passive voice. Will into would we change only in direct indirect speech, not in active passive voice. Will. Now the object becomes new subject. Chess. Will chess. Next main verb. Be. V3. Played. With me. Tomorrow. By you. Question mark. Will chess be played with me tomorrow by you? Next. So those are interrogative sentences. How to change closed interrogative and open interrogative sentences we discussed. Now we are moving to imperative sentences. So here we need to note imperative sentences have no passive voice. Imperative sentences have no passive voice. Let us see why they don't have passive form. The imperative verb lacks tense. As in declarative and interrogative sentences, we have tense. Present continuous, present perfect continuous. We have tense there. But whereas here, an imperative sentence lacks tense. And it doesn't allow modals. Next thing is, in assertive and interrogative sentences, the form of the verb shows the subject is the doer. So in interrogative and assertive sentences, the form of the verb shows the subject is the doer. But in imperative, the verb is directive. Let us look at the example. Thor is killing Thanos. Is killing is the form of the verb telling that Thor is the doer. So the subject is the doer. The form tells subject is the doer. Now when you look at the sentence here, kill Thanos, imperative sentence. Kill Thanos is imperative sentence, whereas the form here, kill, is not talking about the subject is a doer, but when you just read the sentence, kill Thanos, the subject is assigned. The subject is assigned action. Here, subject is doing the action or subject does the action, but whereas here in imperative sentences, the subject, of course, the subject is understood, you. Imperative sentences, subject is understood, you. So here, the verb is being, the verb tells, the verb here assigning or asking to do something, the subject. So here the subject is not the doer, but the subject is assigned. Whereas here is a non-assigned subject, whereas here assigned subject. So being an assigned subject, we don't have a passive form for imperative sentences. Yet, some passive imperatives with be occur chiefly in negative sentences, where they have the meaning do not allow yourself to be. Of course, there are very few imperative sentences. They are negative imperative sentences. Let's look here. Don't be deceived by looks. Don't be deceived by look, passive voice. Here when I say don't be deceived, what is the meaning? Don't allow yourself to be deceived by the looks. So when this mean When the sentence don't be means don't allow yourself, in such a case we have passive voice. Don't be told what to do, which means don't allow yourself to be told what to do. So when you get this meaning, when you want to say this meaning, then we can use imperatives in passive. So passive imperatives only chiefly they occur in negative sentences. But somehow in some of Indian grammarians, they used to write passive form for imperative sentences. Of course, they entirely differ, and they are not passive forms for the imperatives. Imperatives have no passive form. So earlier I told you, because imperative sentence, the subject is assigned. Subject is not doer there, is assigned to do it. So imperatives have no passive voice. But whereas some books we find, some Indian grammarians, they just go with passive form. Let us discuss what the answer according to them. Close all the gates at once. Suppose an imperative is order or command. Imperative is order or command. So we just find in the books the answer this way, beginning with let, and then bring the object. All the gates is object. Let all the gates be. So before verb we use be, closed at once. At once. See, totally we are changing the mood of sentence. Here the given sentence is imperative. Here the given sentence is imperative mood, whereas let all the gates be closed. So what would be the meaning of let? So let means allow. Let means allow. Maybe you can also might be used, maybe the let here used might be causative case. But in that case to even means allow or permit. But when you look at the meaning, let all the gates be closed at once is not equal to the given sentence close all the gate at once. But we find in books, so this would be the answer for imperative sentences. Don't give the order to open fire. So again begin with let. Imperative orders are command. In some books you find. Of course these are not the absolute answers. Imperative sentences have no passive voice. Anyway, we discuss here because we find in some books. Let object order. Let the order not to be given, because it's a negative sentence, not to be. Here it's a positive sentence, we write be. So remember, let plus subject, which means new subject, object of a active voice becomes a new subject. Subject plus be plus V3 and the remaining phrase, whatever the remaining phrase we supposed to write. Phrase or complement. So when it comes to negative, same. Only thing is before be use not. Let plus subject plus be plus V3. So let the order not be given. Let the order not to be given. V3. After B, V3. Let the order not to be given to open fire. So let the order not be given to open fire. That's a passive form for imperative orders and commands. If you feel it is an imperative order or it's an order or command, this supposed to be the answer that what you find in books. If it imperative is advice or suggestion, don't take medicine too often. It's advice. Imperative. Then how do we write advice, suggestion, imperatives into passive voice? Then write medicine should. We use modal should. Should not be taken too often. Medicine should not be taken too often. Whereas this is an imperative mood, and then medicine should not be taken is a assertive sentence. So we totally changed the mood of the sentence. So this is also not correct or equal to the active voice, don't take medicine too often. But somehow this is supposed to be the answer that what you find in the books. Help the poor. Then same using should. Advice, suggestion can be, we can use should or must. Both can be used to give advice. Answer is the poor, we can use must or should. Should be. Here not to be, reason is don't. Here is be, the reason is a positive sentence. The poor should be V3, helped. Should be helped. Should not be taken. Should plus be plus V3. If it is advice or suggestion. Now imperative request. Imperative request. Please give me some more time. Please give me some more. Give what? Some more time. Direct object. Give to whom? Me. Indirect object. So we have two objects here. Then we have two possible ways of writing answer. First write with some more time. Some more time. May please be given. Some more time may please be given. So some more time is a subject. May please be given. May please be given to me. So some more time may please be given to me. This is how do we write requests in passive voice. There is even another object we have, I. I may be, I may please be, I may be please request now, so we use please. I may please be given some more time. This is also possible. So as there are two objects, indirect object and direct object, if it is a request, there are two possible ways of writing. So first write with a direct object, but use may please. May plus please plus be plus with. This is a passive form. May plus please plus be plus with. There is another possible answer. You are requested to give me some more time. So that is the third possible way of writing. You are requested to give me some more time. Right, look at the next example. Please don't take drugs. Drugs. There is only direct object. So we don't have indirect object. Then there is only one possible answer. Write with drugs first. Drugs may not please be taken. Please be. Drugs may not please be taken. So drugs may not please be taken. Another possible of writing is you are requested not to take drugs. This is another possible way of writing. Please don't smoke in here. So we don't have object here. Totally object is missing. But we can write that answer starting with you are requested. You are requested not to smoke here. See this you are requested, we just use in indirect speech. So totally we are changing sentences, whereas these are imperatives and we are changing imperative into assertives. So we are changing the mood. So these are not, even though we find these answers in some of the books, but these are not equal to the active form of imperative sentences. So imperatives have no passive forms, but we find in some books. Exclamatory sentences. So most of the exclamatory sentences have no passive voice. No passive voice. Very few. Such a sentence should be this way. How beautiful she painted the picture. She painted the picture. Painted is V2. V2. The picture is an object. If the sentence has a subject and object, subject, verb and object, along with how or what, then there is a possibility. Only very few sentences, when those sentences have this kind of syntax, only possible in passive voice. Let's see now how should we write it. How beautifully the picture was painted. How beautifully the picture was painted by her. So just like an assertive sentence, we change. Because it's a subject, verb, object. So we bring the object and the passive form for V2. What is the passive form for V2? Was there verb plus V3. So we write that. So exclamatory sentences, very few sentences have active and passive. So these are how do we change interrogative sentences, closed and open. How do we change imperative sentences? Of course, imperative sentences have no passive form, but some books we find, so that we discussed. And the next exclamatory sentences also have no passive voice, but very few sentences have.